In late July, Boeing released its financial statements for the latest quarter ending June 30th, 2023. With its legal obligation to tell its shareholders the state of the company, the documents that were presented offer a fairly bleak picture of the current state of the American plane maker. And while we produced a short 3 or 4 minute video on this topic on our main channel, we thought we'd present a longer version for long haul by Simple Flying, one that goes into much more detail. So let's get started. The big takeaway from the reporting was that Boeing's timeline slip on the 737 MAX could have impacts beyond being unable to deliver the new jets to customers. Alongside this, the plane maker flagged potential risks in maintaining its order book for the flagship wide-body 777X, should there be any further delays to certification and entry into service. As part of its first half 2023 financial report, Boeing discussed some of the challenges it's facing. This is a core part of its duty to disclose to its shareholders, particularly if they could risk a loss in earnings in the coming months and years. Specifically, the company noted, "If we remain unable to deliver 737 aircraft in China for an extended period of time and/or entry into service of the 777X, 737-7 and/or 737-10 is further delayed, we may experience reductions to backlog and/or significant order cancellations." On the topic of the Chinese market, Aerotime Hub highlighted that January 13th, 2023 was the day that a China Southern Airlines 737 MAX carried passengers on a revenue flight, quietly marking significant progress in ending the 737 MAX grounding in the country. On February 15th, 2023, Brian West, the Chief Financial Officer and Executive Vice President of Finance at Boeing, stated this about the 737 MAX. "There's several that are in the air, generating revenue, but there's about 90 that still have to return to service, and we stand ready to help our customers in that market just as soon as they're ready, and we will follow their cue." So while already delivered MAX jets may be flying, it doesn't seem like Chinese airlines are quite ready to take new aircraft from Boeing, at least not at the time of this video's production. This is a huge financial issue for Boeing since much of the cost of the aircraft is paid for upon delivery. Moving over to the topic of the 777X, the plane maker has already begun to record order cancellations for the next generation widebody. However, the company hasn't provided much detail on this topic. In stating its backlog to the end of June 2023, Boeing noted that aircraft cancellations, quote, totaled 10,061 million and primarily relate to 737 aircraft. Further into the report, it also says that there had been a, quote, net decrease of 777X and 737 aircraft. Now, tens of thousands of millions is a rather uncommon way to present a number, but translating it into a more common figure, this would be a little over $10 billion. $10 billion in aircraft cancellations. That's a lot of money. As the biggest customer of the 777X, Emirates has the most sway over the program's future. Originally ordering 150 aircraft, the Middle East giant has shrunk that order book, swapping out production slots for smaller Dreamliners instead. Its order book stands today at 115 aircraft. The Dubai-based airline recently converted several of the shorter 777-8 to the larger Dash 9 variant. This is likely due to the fact that the Dash 8 will take even longer to enter service, third in line behind the Dash 9 and 777X freighter. President of Emirates Sir Tim Clark has been outspoken on the delays to Boeing's 777X timeline. He has previously complained of having to keep older A380s longer, and even threatened to cancel the whole thing if delivery dates were pushed further out. Speaking in February 2022, he said, "If it goes beyond 2023 and it goes on for another year, we probably cancel the program. What else can we do? We can't continue the way we are. Boeing really needs to get their act together and get this aircraft sorted." It has gone beyond 2023 and is now looking to be at least 2025 before Clark gets his hands on the new Boeing airplanes. But cancellation is not appealing, as he noted at the time, saying, "What's going to happen when the A380 goes otherwise? What am I left with?" Building a new aircraft is never cheap, and the expenses have run even deeper against the background of the 737 MAX crisis. Early in the 777X project, Boeing expected to be able to certify the updated widebody as a derivative of the classic 777, grandfathering in elements of the aircraft from its predecessors. Some technologies, such as the engines and unique folding wings, would still require certification, but much of the systems and construction was expected to be waved through. However, EASA raised concerns in 2021 regarding the lack of redundancy on some of the fly-by-wire systems. Indeed, the European regulator demanded closer scrutiny of the project. With so much new stuff on board, empennages, centre box, composite wing, fuselage stretch, the list goes on, the FAA is going to be looking at the plane as if it were a new model, and rightly so. With the fallout from the 737 MAX crisis still ringing in its ears, it won't want to pass anything that's not up to scratch. In Boeing's earnings report, it said, "In addition, the introduction of new aircraft and derivatives, such as the 777X and 737-7 and 737-10, involves increased risks associated with meeting development, production, and certification schedules. These challenges include increased global regulatory scrutiny of all development aircraft in the wake of the 737 MAX accidents." Following EASA raising concerns in 2021, Boeing paused production on the 777X in 2022 as it admitted the timeline for entry into service was slipping again. This has led to what aircraft manufacturers call abnormal production costs. Boeing expects these to total $1 billion by the time production restarts. So far, it has logged a total of $587 million in these abnormal production costs. In just the last 6 months, abnormal production costs relating to the 777X came out at $262 million, less than half of those attributed to fixing Dreamliner issues. In its report, Boeing pegged 787 costs at $693 million. Nevertheless, the expenses continue to climb, but Boeing still hopes to have a profitable project at the end of it all. Indeed, it summarized, "The 777X program has near break-even gross margins at June 30, 2023. The level of profitability on the 777X program will be subject to a number of factors. These factors include production disruption due to labor instability and supply chain disruption, customer negotiations, further production rate adjustments for the 777X or other commercial aircraft programs, contraction of the accounting quantity, and potential risks associated with the testing program and the timing of aircraft certification." Despite all this, the company still expects to deliver the first 777X in 2025, pending regulatory certification requirements. The 777-8 freighter, launched in 2022, is still expected to be ready for service by 2027. The MAX 7, on the other hand, may or may not be certified before the end of this year, 2023. In fact, Boeing has revealed that the timeline for entry into service has now slipped to 2024. The MAX 10 will begin its flight testing campaign later this year, and Boeing hopes it will enter into service in 2024 as well. With the worry of potential order cancellations hanging over the plane maker, those certifications and entry into service can't come soon enough. So what do you think of Boeing's current state? Do you think the company is on the right track to turning things around? Share your thoughts by leaving a comment. Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.